Hey, it's Jenny here. Today we are going to be painting this really neat and gorgeous Moody lighthouse scene. It is done with ink and wash, and I am using Winsor & Newton watercolor. I hope you enjoy. Okay, I am gonna I already sketched this out, and I'm gonna go over this in ink. And I pre-sketched it, so I could kind of concentrate, even though I'm being awful quiet, and that's what I wanted to try to avoid, like I said. So this is a very beginner urban sketching, and it was so much fun walking on the beach and getting to experience this actually in person. I love lighthouses. They're one of my favorite things to see. I know if I could definitely go on vacation and see them all, I totally would. But this one here is on Hunter's Island State Park, and it was really pretty. When we were on the beach, I was able to see the sunset and collect some shells, which was really, really lovely. And then I am gonna fill in the window. I am gonna use my Winsor & Newton paint. I have my Micron 5 fine liner pen. I couldn't even think. Okay, so I got as far as the lighthouse. I'm gonna basically, now I got the lighthouse in, add a little bit more detail. Okay. I think I want to put in some of the top of the trees, so I'm going to start kind of here. But we're going to kind of sketch loose. And just trying to get the feel of the trees. Like I said, this is just very beginner urban sketching. I'm just kind of doing the marks, because we'll add in, we're gonna add in the ink first and then go back in with some watercolor, and I think it will make more sense once we do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and I want to put the trees in. And trees, I can do it in just watercolor, but trying to get the feel of it and sketching. It's definitely different. just totally just trying to get the feel of the land. And then get some trees in here. Do another line. And this is not going to be perfect. We just kind of want to get the feel of the trees. And then we have some crazy looking ones here. But in this, you don't want to be afraid to make mistakes. It's really a learning process. And for me, one of the hardest things that I am learning right now is the sketching. Trying to get comfortable with the pen in my hand. Trying to be brave with every pen mark I make. Knowing that I don't have to be perfect. And it's okay to make mistakes. We're all human. And we have to have a learning curve. And on this learning curve, we gotta be free to make mistakes. It's definitely part of the learning process. Little bushes there. And then here's the tree, so we're gonna add a little bit more. And then add some here, very abstractly. Okay. And I think that's enough ink for right now. I think if we need to add any more, we will. So now we're going to paint the sky. And it was a moody day. So we're going to take a little bit of cobalt. And we're going to go ahead and put that on the paper. And I am just using my size 8 Aqua Elite Princeton brush. And we're just going to take this down lightly using the water. One of my favorite things to paint now is skies. We're going to put a little bit darker there. And we're going to paint around these trees. And a little bit more water. And I am using one of my favorite papers. It's the Bohong Academy watercolor cold press paper. And it is very, very lovely. And we're going to paint around these trees a little bit. And it's okay if we miss some. And then I'm just going to add a few little dabs here and there, because no tree is completely like green, you know, through the leaves and stuff. Okay, so now we're going to go over to this side and we're going to add some water because I do not want a hard edge. I'm taking some more of this cobalt blue. And this guy is gonna be gorgeous when it's done. Now, I want to use a little bit of, to make it a little darker through here, because we are going to do a little bit of negative painting right there. And we're going to leave the White House. And scrubbing this in, we're going to get a beautiful effect. Now, I want to make this guy a little bit darker because it was a very, very moody day. So while this is still wet, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a little bit of ultramarine blue. And I am going to take some burnt sienna. And I am going to mix it together to make a darker blue. And it's not the exact same as as in the photograph, but that's okay. It really does not need to be. I just want to put some more darks in. And it's going to give it, and that's got that blue, that moody storm coming in looking blue. Okay, and I want to soften that edge. So I'm going to just take a little bit of water and got off the dampness. And okay, and that is exactly what I am going for. So now we're gonna go to make some green. And for green, I like taking some cobalt blue or ultramarine blue. In this case, I used ultramarine. And taking this, maybe add a little bit more blue. Okay. And we are gonna go ahead and put in some grasses. On the beach, it was a pretty windy day. So I'm just gonna try and take it up motion because I just want you guys to get a feel of what I was feeling. And taking it up, because through here we're gonna have some bushes and stuff. Okay, I just went over this with some yellow ochre, and while it is still wet, I am gonna add a mixture of burnt umber and raw umber. And I want it to be a little thicker consistency, probably like, maybe like milk. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this in. trying to be brave through it. Okay. Now, while that is drying, we're going to go back. I am going to take my mixture of ultramarine blue, and I'm going to take some of my cadmium yellow, a little bit more of the blue, and I am going to dab my brush off, and I am going to put in these trees. Loving that. And we'll go ahead and put them down in here for the bushes. And through here. Doing a mixture of colors. But this is so relaxing doing this. And we can do like maybe a darker bush there, one here. Going back to the lighter greens. Gonna take some of that cadmium yellow. And we are just dabbing this on. Because if you look in the photograph, it is a group of trees. But we're gonna, and it looks like the tone down through here is a little darker. So I'm gonna take some of this neutral tint. Okay, throwing some of that in here and getting a dark shade. And then in between the trees, because if we need to go in darker, we can. And painting around the tree trunks. We're doing some negative painting. And then going up to some of the brighter greens. Coming through. To get a little bit more blue. A little bit more yellow. Once again, leaving negative painting. We're doing negative painting because we need to leave the white for the tree trunks. Hitting the brush in between. Okay, now I am going to take my smaller paintbrush. I am going to use a size 0, and I took some of that neutral tint and ultramarine blue, and I am going to fill this in for the lighthouse. And I'm using a smaller brush because of the amount of detail that it is in the small amount of the area. Try not to get my hand in it. I am notorious for taking my hand across the painting. And the blue. I'm not sure, like, it don't seem right on this, like, to how to do it, but it'll be close enough for us to get the fill. But I love lighthouses. There's just something about them. And especially with a moody sky, I have to say, I am really enjoying this painting. Okay, getting this filled in. Wonderful. Now, there seems to be a shadow from the tree on this side, so I'm going to go back to my size 8 brush, and I'm going to take this navy color that we made, and I am going to add a little bit of burnt sienna to it, a little bit more of that, and then I'm going to take some water and water it down, and then I'm going to add the shadow to this. From like the trees and stuff. Kind of feathering it out. Perfect. Love that. Make it a little bit darker along the side here, even yet. Perfect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this size 0, and I'm going to take some of this brown umber. Go down for the tree trunks. The one beside it, I'm just adding some water. And I'm doing a little bit of dry brush because it's going to add textures to the trees. For like the bark. Wonderful. I really like the feel that I'm getting from this. It's just a really relaxing painting. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more of that. Taking it down. A little thicker trunk here. A little bit more. And then put in a trunk here. And I'm trying to, once again, vary the texture, doing a mixture of the browns, because bark isn't all the same color. So I wanted to get those in. And then I'm going to add some more detail. Like little trees and stuff down here. Maybe there's a tree like there. But trying to get different colors. Is going to be essential. Because otherwise, your painting is just not going to have any dimension. It's going to look pretty boring. You definitely want to get and add the different colors and mixtures, because it definitely gives it a little bit more perspective and a little bit more interest. Trying to leave the darkest bits. Oh, that's too dark. Taking some more of that black. Trying to work it into my green. Sometimes you just got to play around with the colors to get it the color you want. Okay. And I'm trying to get the base pretty dark. I'm loving how this is looking. I've been needing a vacation and I wanted something different to look at. I was needing some inspiration and I was having some artist blocks. I think everybody goes through it at some point in time, and I know I was. So my boyfriend and I, we just decided that we both kind of needed a reset, and what better way than to go to the ocean. And it was amazing. Okay, putting in some of that darks. And trying to match the value. I'm going to go ahead to a little bit bigger brush. Not much. It's going to be a size 2. And just kind of taking these different greens, and I want to go in and add. And I really am liking how this is looking. It has a lot more depth. There. And these definitely needed it as well. They were looking a little too bland. And just kind of tossing it up there. And that's the thing, you know, we want it to look very natural. Oh yeah. That is definitely looking more like a forest. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to hit a little bit more brown here. And once again, doing a little bit of that negative painting. Wonderful. Okay. So now I am going to take my liner brush and I want to put in some grasses. Because out on the beach, there was these, hopefully you guys can see it, but there. And the wind was blowing pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to this direction. Give it some through here. But up on the beach, it had the little sand that was almost by like the sand dunes and stuff. It was really cool. So I definitely wanted to get the grasses in. Giving it somewhat of a base. You kind of want to make sure you give it somewhat of a base, or it kind of just looks like it's floating. So we're gonna go ahead and take my liner brush and kind of yeah, just like that. And if you look, it has so much depth and perception. I'm loving it. Now, the beach needs a little bit of sprinkles for some texture. A little bit of raw umber to go with it. And a little bit of burnt umber and lots of water. Okay, and then loving that. I just want to add a little bit more color to it. And then we're going to add a little bit of dry brush. It just gives the beach a little bit more dimension, so it's just not so boring. And I like to kind of dry brush it on. And there we go. Add some more sprinkles. And that is very lovely. I love how everything turned out. I want to put a little bit more dark into there. Turned out beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. It just lets YouTube know that I'm doing a nice job, and so other people can find me. I appreciate it. Thanks so much, and have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.